in Baltimore, Maryland. Nothing like that going on right now. You know, Baltimore sports stars are really reacting to the unrest in their hometown and showing their support. First up, I want to show you Olympian Michael Phelps, what he wrote on Twitter, and this is a quote. He said, "I love our city, and it's truly a great city, and I know we're better than this. We can get through this together. Hashtag be more." And former Baltimore Ravens player Ray Lewis also weighing in on this unrest with an impassioned plea for peace.
Young kids, you got to understand something. Get off the streets. Violence is not the answer. Violence has never been the answer. Freddie Gray, we don't do nothing for him doing this. We know there's a deeper issue. We know what the jungle looks like. But this isn't it. It's enough of us in the streets trying to change what's going on. Baltimore, get off the streets. Kids, go home. Stay home.
Ray Lewis, some unprecedented sports fallout from the unrest in Baltimore to tell you about as well. Due to safety concerns over rioting in the city, Wednesday's scheduled game between the Baltimore Orioles, Chicago White Sox, will be closed to the public. A Major League Baseball source says the league is not aware of any prior closed-door games. Orioles also announced that this weekend's home games would be moved to Tropicana Field in St. Petersburg, Florida. So I want to turn now to newspaper writer Eduardo Encina. He covers the Orioles for the Baltimore Sun. This is unprecedented, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I talked to Major League Baseball's official historian earlier today, and he says that, you know, none of this has never happened. There's never been a situation where a game has been played in front of that hasn't been played in front of no paying crowd. So it's unprecedented. Obviously, this isn't the circumstances that anyone wanted this to happen under, but it is going to be history tomorrow.
What's the reaction from fans? Are they on board with this?
Yeah, I think so. I think that for the most part, fans right now, they understand the situation in the community. The Orioles really tried to make sure that these games could be played. I think they went through every action to make sure these games could be played. At the end of the day, thinking about the safety of the fans, being out late, obviously the curfew that was enacted tonight, I think all those things really kind of came into play in terms of postponing tonight's game, last night's game, and making some rare schedule adjustments.
So let's talk about dollars now. What are we talking? Are they losing money? How much money are they losing, and how is this going to affect the city?
Well, in terms of the team, I think they're going to lose a significant amount of money because the weekend games are going to be moved to St. Petersburg. You're losing a total of basically 5 home dates because you have a doubleheader that also needs to be played, and obviously the gate from tomorrow, which you're not going to get anything from. So I think a lot of money is going to be lost for the team. Obviously, there's the the businesses outside the ballpark, the vendors, the bars, all that stuff that won't make that added revenue that they would usually make on a game night. So there will be a hit financially for the city downtown.
Let's talk about Ray Lewis, because we've been saying impassioned. I mean, he was on fire, or off the chain, as they say. I was speaking to some people who were out as I was out today, and they said, I respect what he had to say. He's right in many ways, but he should come here, instead of sitting on his couch or sitting in a chair or what have you. Those guys should be here. Michael Phelps should be here if they really care that much. Is that too much pressure to put on someone?
I think Baltimore is a city, though. I know from covering the Orioles and covering sports in Baltimore that the fans here do put their athletes and their stars on a pedestal. And I do know that, if that happened, if Ray or Michael Phelps or anyone came out and was out in the public and made a public stand in the streets, I think it would definitely make an impact. Whether it's the right thing for them to do or not, I mean, that's not really my place to say. But I do know that in Baltimore, it's a 2-sport town. They love their Orioles, they love their Ravens, and I think that's anything that any of those guys say goes far.
How soon do you think that we will get back to some sort of normalcy when it comes to sports in Baltimore? And I'm sure the fans and the people of Baltimore and the teams and the owners and everyone involved hoping sooner rather than later.
Right. I mean, there's no secret that sports can be a bonding experience in tough times, and we saw it during 9/11 in New York. And I think that the sooner that the games do come back, the Orioles are going to go on a huge road trip now, since these games are going to be moved to St. Pete. They're not going to be back till May 11th. So the hope is that kind of gives some time for the city to heal.
Yeah. Thank you, Eduardo.
Thank you.
I don't know if you've seen this video that we're going to show coming up. This mom, speaking of off the chain, we said Ray Lewis, this mother was off the chain. When she saw her kid out rioting with a mask on, she went right to the front lines where he was, and she took control. There is that mom. She does not play. We will talk about that coming up. We're back now live on the streets of Baltimore, Maryland, almost 3 hours now into this curfew, and the police appear to have the situation under control here. There were some people who defied this curfew earlier at 10 p.m. Eastern time here in the United States, and police were not having it. So they took matters into their own hands, and they got those people off the streets. Let's talk about this video that really got people here in the U.S. talking, and some people all around the world probably. The now famous moment when a mother grabbed her masked son, slapped him repeatedly after she discovered that he was among the rioters. Her name is Toya Graham. She's speaking out about why she walloped her 16-year-old boy.
Not even thinking about cameras or anything like that. That's my only son. And at the end of the day, I don't want him to be a Freddie Gray.
Well, again, Freddie Gray was a 25-year-old whose death while in police custody sparked the protest and is the reason we are here now. I want to bring in my next guest. He's R.J. Manuelian. He's a criminal defense attorney. He joins us now from Los Angeles, from our Los Angeles bureau, to take a closer look at the legal aspects developing in this case and other aspects as well. Listen, in 2014, the mayor here vetoed having body cameras. That probably would have helped, maybe it would have helped in this situation and others. That is very important, especially when it comes to exposure for the city.
Yes, and there's a distrust in most of these indigent neighborhoods, especially when you have low-income neighborhoods, and a disparaging use of force against some of the lower-income neighborhoods being African-American. If you take a look, Don, at the Attorney General's report on March 4th, Eric Holder found that there was patterns of practices of abuse going on. And I think this could be easily eliminated with the following: community awareness and community policing, meeting with the community, expressing grievances. Number two, body cams. Body cams are the best witnesses. You get to do the replay, you get to watch it, the police officers know that it's going on, they're more careful. I'm not saying it'll eliminate all the problems, but it'll certainly decrease it.
Yes, certainly decrease the problems, and that's the issue. Nothing is perfect. I mean, and nothing is foolproof. But then by the time you get to this point, when you get to this point and not all the information you need is you have it on camera or you have the subject of the information, it's tough. So if you have that body cam, you go back and play it, you can, in a court of law, use that, and it would make a difference in these cases.
A huge difference, because there would be no guessing games. There would be no assumptions. Remember, if going back to Ferguson, a lot of people thought differently about the facts and the way the incident happened, as opposed to what the Attorney General's report came out. So the body cams would cut to the chase. It would show exactly what happened. It would avoid rioting, because a lot of people get anxious, and the tensity that builds up over the years of this police mistrust with the community is immediately taken away from the fact that you have the evidence in your hands, and you could immediately play it to the community and show exactly what happened and take away that hostility, avoiding riots and arrests.
You're quite right, and we would know what happened from the beginning of the stop. We'd know what happened once someone was transported, and that's a big question around Freddie Gray. What happened in that transport van that we did not get to see? What happened in the initial moments of that stop? R.J. Manuelian, I appreciate your expertise, and thank you for joining us so much here on CNN. Almost 3 hours into this, a curfew here in the city of Baltimore, and we're going to continue to cover it here on CNN. We'll be here for you tomorrow and throughout the day. I'm Don Lemon. I'm live in Baltimore. Our coverage is going to continue now. CNN Newsroom picks up our coverage right after this very quick break. My colleagues John Voss, Zane Asher will be at the CNN Center, the world headquarters for you in Atlanta.
Holy hell, Wolf. I've covered a lot of things. Nothing as dramatic and chaotic as this.
These police are much more on edge than we saw in Ferguson.
This is one of our darkest days as a city.
This is a police officer that has been pulled out. You guys, we gotta move back. Move back.
They do not respect this young man's death. Now, I was actually home watching CNN, then once I saw it was closed, I decided to come out here.
If we don't get justice, we're not gonna calm down.